Today we are going to do a tank water heater swap with a Girard tankless water heater swap. So in other words, we're taking out a tank type and putting in a tankless. Customer has already got the water heater, got the door kit, and we are going to do the do. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share the videos. We really appreciate you watching and doing all of that, and hope that you get some kind of value out of it. And we're just here to share what we do know, and we're always learning too. But anyhow, let's go get started. I just wanted to say before I get busy that I really got some good friends out here in the business, always giving us props and giving us plugs. Thinking about Hillbilly RV. He has just been such a great friend, and really appreciate him. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, go on YouTube, look up Hillbilly RV, watch his videos. Man, the guy's been doing this, what I'm doing, for 30 years. I mean, if I could have his experience and knowledge, I would burn all of mine. The other guy that's been a big fan of ours, and we're big fans of him too, is Steve Shelburne over there in Cleveland, Tennessee. Beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee. Anyway, yeah, don't know who that is. Shelburne RV, look it up, watch his videos. Not so much a step-by-step, this is how you do repair kind of a thing, but just more of just showing you the service RV business, and you know, the things that you get into, the problems, the hurdles. It's very informative and good stuff. I enjoy watching his videos. But there's several other guys out there, you know, the guys that don't know who I am, you know, like you know, Darren at My RV Works up in Washington. Very, very good step-by-step videos. I mean, the guy's a freaking engineer. You know, he's gonna shoot you straight. And then, you know, of course, there's the AZ expert out in Arizona, James. Love watching his videos too. You know, there's 4 solid options right there for you to watch on YouTube. Well, I guess 5 would be me, if I may say I'm a solid option. Anyhow, just wanted to say all that. I really appreciate those guys very much. Very grateful to know them. But here we are. We are working on a Coachman Catalina, and we have got the old Suburban 6-gallon water heater, and we know that we have the electric and gas option. Obviously, a gas valve burner, right? All water heaters have the gas side, but this also has the electric side. First clue is the on-off switch, but also this black cap right here. Heating elements right behind that cap. So what we're going to need to do, first things first, man. Let's take this anode rod out and drain the water out of it. And I'm going to go inside and find the breaker, kill the breaker to it. If the 12-volt switch is on inside, we'll go turn that off. And then we're going to come out here and start taking this guy out. We'll take that out and reassess our situation. So let me find a place to sit you down, and we'll get busy. anybody who doesn't know, the anode rod is a 1 1/16 inch socket. I don't know if you can see that or not. 1 1/16. And I always open up that pressure relief valve first so that that anode rod don't come out like a torpedo. And then step out of the way. So as you saw, we went inside, turned the breaker off. The electric side was on when I got here. So this water's hot. That's all right. Water's out now. We turned the electric off. We unplugged the controller on the back of the water heater, and we turned the bypass valves on for the water. So now the water is coming in on the cold line and going right through the bypass out on the hot line. So all the water is cut off to the water heater. Water heater is now drained. I took the screws out of the door frame, the water heater. So now there's these on these 6 gallons, you got 3 screws here that hold the frame to the tank. It holds everything tight there in the wall. So I'm gonna take those 3 screws out, and then we get to start working on taking all the silicone off from around the frame. That can always be a good time. Anyway, you'll see. These manufacturers, when they put these Suburbans in, they always run either a big fat bead of silicone right here, or in the case of Catalina here, they put the silicone down, then put the frame on. So we've got silicone between the frame and the water heater itself. That's black silicone right there. That may cause a little bit of a problem, but we're going to address all of this first, all the way around. Normally there's not any on the bottom. A little bit of foam compression gasket there, but we're going to take a razor blade and carefully cut that silicone, and hopefully that'll give us enough free play that we can slowly pull this off the wall, and then we can take the water heater out, and got our gas line here. So we're going to need to go find the gas supply, make sure it's turned off, and disconnect water or gas line, put it back through the hole here, and then right behind here is the junction box for the AC voltage. So when we get this out far enough, we can take the cover off that junction box, disconnect the Romex that's tied up in there, and that Romex is not going to get reused on a tankless water heater. It is an all 12 volt system. So we'll just take that Romex and secure it and leave the breaker off because it's not needed anymore. So, all right, here we go. Thank goodness that one broke free pretty easy. I've had a battle on my hands in the past with some of these. It can take you a solid hour to get them broke loose, but alright, so the trim ring came out with the water heater. So all I gotta do now is just remove the appliance and clean up our surface here. Oh, gas line, let me do that. Yeah, and something else we're going to do too, after I get the gas line broke loose, we're going to go back inside and disconnect the hot and cold water line connectors from off the back of the tank. That way we can move it. I need to get it pulled out about halfway so I can disconnect the AC voltage from it. Alright, so we got the gas lines disconnected. But this rubber grommet back here that they put on to seal around that gas line, that's what's holding it in place at the moment. So I just need to get that broke loose right there. Get that broke loose, slip that gas line out of the way, and then I should be able to get here to this junction box. But we still need to do those water lines. Yeah, they got this wire restraint on here like they should. So what I'm gonna do, you can see that right there. They've got that Romex wrapped up in there, and that's just gonna be an absolute bear to try and disassemble. So what we're gonna do is just cut the Romex behind that restraint. And of course, make sure the power is off. We did that inside. We verified it. Alright, let me show you what we got here. Okay, so this here is our 12-volt wiring, and this is all we're going to need. Power, ground, and brown wire is to run that little red light at the switch. Gas line and Romex were zip tied to this banding around the styrofoam, which is why, another reason why I was struggling to get it out. But we got her out, so we'll probably cut that zip tie off, and we'll bundle that up and secure him over here, and we're going to get all this garbage off the gas line here, and then inspect the hose. Let's make sure that nothing got damaged on the hose against this sharp sheet metal aluminum siding here. But this is pretty much it, guys. I mean, this is how you get a water heater out. Sometimes it comes out quick, and sometimes it fights you. And we got fought a little bit, but anyhow, hot line connection, cold line connection. We may have to make some plumbing adjustments on that to make it fit the Girard. So, and we'll find that out once we get the Girard slipped into the hole here. We'll see if those don't line up, then we may have to cut back some pecs to make it fit right. It's looking good. Other than just a little bit of black silicone on here, I don't see any cuts or abrasions. So I think we're good to go on this gas line. I love a flexible rubber gas line, and then I hate them too. Too easy to damage. Now what do I do down here with my 12-volt wiring? So Coachman is using brown. I know the blue on the Suburban is for that light at the switch that lets you know that you're out of gas. Red is for power. Green is ground. Those match up perfectly. We're just going to go ahead and cut and cut. And since we don't need brown anymore, I'm going to cut that blue wire way up there in that bell connector, and we'll just leave that on the end of that brown wire. There's not going to be any voltage going through it, but you know, we'll just do it anyway. Alright, I've got a couple bell connectors out in the truck. We're just going to throw one on our neutral or common and one on our hot, just in case at some point in the future somebody goes and clicks that breaker on in the breaker panel. We don't want any dead shorts happening. Now obviously I'm not going to strip the Romex. I'm just going to take it, insulation and all, and put it inside that bell connector, crimp it down. Got a zip tie with a little screw hole in on the end of it, and then we can screw that up, some framing under the cabinetry, and keep it out of the way. This here is just a platform the manufacturer makes for the tank to be cradled in, to help keep it from wanting it to roll when it's full of water. But we won't need that with the tankless. Let's go get a plastic scraper and clean up the wall. Alright, so you can see on the Suburban water heater, hot out, cold in. They sit approximately, what, 10 inches apart? 10, 11 inches apart, and they're in the middle of the unit. So that's how it's plumbed, right? Well, here's our Girard. Cold in, hot out. Cold in, hot out. So we're definitely gonna have to do some replumbing to make this work. Alright, so the gas line's here. Gas line port right there. The two blue wires are our communication wires. Those will be run to the touchpad controller. And then right here, red is positive, black is negative, so it's going to go red, red, black, green. And once we've got power to the unit, all we'll have to do is run our blue communication wires to the controller. And there's no polarity on those, that's why they're both the same color. So you just hook those two wires to the two wires of the controller. We're probably going to have to find out where a customer is going to want controller, and we're probably going to have to run extension wire to find out where that's going to be. Alright, so again, brown's not being used for anything, so that'll just get kind of tucked up in there. But the Girard, I'm going to go ahead and wire in the wires. I'm going to go ahead and do the gas line, then I'm going to set this in here in the hole, and then we're going to have to go to the inside and figure out how we're going to be able to adjust the plumbing to make it work. We'll use Wago connectors. See, the manufacturer left us a lot of stripped wire there. I'll cut that back. Stick that in there. And then we got our red positive. Wagos are clear on the bottom, so you can see, is that clip in there actually getting on the conductor, or is it getting on the insulation? And we are good on both counts there. It is bit into the conductor. Use two more on the communication wires. To make our buddy Darren happy and make sure to use 2 wrenches. What I may go ahead and do now is go ahead and turn the gas on and check for leaks while I've got it out. It'll be a lot easier to work on while it's out. Alright, gas is on. We've got some leak detector soap there. And I've come to learn that this is what you want to use because it has no ammonia in it, and ammonia will corrode on brass fittings. So you don't want to use just regular old kitty blow bubble soap or Dawn dish soap or any of that. You want to use specific gas leak detector soap. Sprayed soap up the hose just to make sure that there's not some kind of small leak that I didn't see, or cut, or abrasion. But everything is looking good. I don't see any bubbles getting blown. And they would blow. They blow up big when there's a leak. Alright. Well, we'll check this again after we get it all completely installed, but I say at this point we are good to go with the gas. But as you can see in here, our connectors are like right in the middle, and we're going to need them off to the side. So we're going to have to come up with a creative way to do this. Yeah, man. So anyway, let's get it in the hole. We'll go lay on the floor, think about what we're going to do there for a hot second. Probably just going to have to cut. You can see where the flexible line tees into the PEX. I'm probably going to have to cut right there at the valve at the PEX. And then we're going to have to throw extension. And on that hot line, we're going to actually have to extend elbow down some ways for it to fit. For it to work. Alright, let's do it. Alright, so there it is in the hole. So let's go look on the inside, what we're going to have to do. Alright. Alright, well, cold line is right here. Right there. Hot line there. Yeah. So we're probably going to have to make a cut right there at both connectors, and then extend our PEX out so that we can get this here. I may just go ahead and cut, and then take this outside and make it ready to just go ahead and connect to my ports, and then build it out to where they're sitting. Yeah, let's do that. But we need to go cut off water. Alright, we got it cut out of there. As you can see. So what I'm going to want to do is get these PEX crimps off and remove that little bit of PEX tip there, and then we're going to put some new grommets or cone washers inside of there, and then we're going to take this back inside. We're going to put these connectors back on the Girard, well, not back on, but we're going to put them on the Girard, and then we're going to build out the plumbing as we need it in this scenario. So anyhow, let me get those broke off there, and we'll take this back inside. Alright, we got all the plumbing done. We had to run a cold water line over, an elbow over to our connector, and the same with the hot water line. Put our controller in here. Here's our wires for the controller, and they just wire into those two blue signal wires. So as we stand right now, we've got all the power hooked up, we've got the controller hooked up, we've got our plumbing in. Let's give it a run and see if there's any leaks we have to address, and if everything looks good, then we're going to go outside and finish up the door kit assembly. When it comes to these Girard door kit assemblies, I like to take the door off the frame. It just makes it easier to deal with. And it's just these 4 screws. Then you can see here on the inside of the frame, got a screw hole here, here, same over here, and that corresponds with holes that they already have in the unit. And so basically, you put the frame in your hole, and then you might have to pull back on the unit to get the screw holes to line up, but you want the screw to go through here in the box but screw into the framing in the wall, and that's going to secure that unit in there. And then after you get that done, then you're still able to scoot it and move it around the way you need to, and then you screw your big screws into the frame there, and then you can put your door back on. So that's what we're going to do now. Have test run the water heater, and the water heater is working properly. Got 115 degree water at the kitchen sink and at the bathroom sink. So as far as the unit goes, everything's working fabulously, swimmingly. So let's get our door kit assembly installed, and that way we can button this up and go hit another job. But as far as the wall goes, I cleaned the wall off the best that I could. And basically all it was is compression gasket, like what they've got here, except it was on the flange part for the Suburban. But all that compression gasket, just over time, it gets so stuck to that aluminum. But anyhow, what we're gonna do is take this, get that installed like I was just talking about, and then I think I'm gonna put some butyl behind the flange here, put some butyl back there, get it up into the hole, get it screwed in, get the compartment screwed in the frame, put the door on, and we can get going. Alright, so we've got the frame all butyled up, as you can see there. And so now we've got the frame inside our box, and I'm going to put a couple screws in the frame up here to hold it in the right position, and then I'm going to hit the inside all the way around. Brought my little 90-degree angle with me because things can get tight. Alright, and the pro tip that I learned from James out in Arizona is glass cleaner. We're going to spray this down with glass cleaner and then smooth out the bead. It seems so wasteful of the sealant, but man, it sure does look better when it's done.
That's it, folks. Put your bead on, spray it down with glass cleaner, and that's it. You have a nice, smooth, professional looking bead there. So just push, smooth out about 3-4 inches, wipe off, 3-4 inches, wipe off, and just do that all the way around. And that is a pro looking sealing job. All right, well, let's put the door on. Guys, there you go. Let me go get a rag and clean this door up on here. Pick my tools up, and we're gonna call this good. Like I said, I've already test run the thing. Thing's working like a champ. So we've got her mounted up on the outside, got our plumbing addressed inside. Man, turned out good. And I'm gonna double check that plumbing before I leave just to make sure ain't nothing leaking. But I'm gonna clean this up and go on and get out of here. Don't you go on and get out of here without leaving a comment. I'm stealing a hillbilly line. That's how he does. So don't go on and get out of here without leaving a comment. Check and subscribe, like, share, all that stuff, all that good stuff. And we'll see you on the next one. Really appreciate you watching. Bye.